And welcome back, folks. What's going on? Welcome back to part five of the video today, where we will be continuing with our little discussion where I'm supposed to answer 300 basic questions. Today we'll be going from part one, from question 101 until question 125. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like button below, click the subscribe, turn on the notifications, and without further ado, let's get into this video. All right, so question 101. In what ways are you stubborn? Well, that's a really easy one. I'm stubborn in the way that I just never listen to anyone. If people tell me don't do this, don't do that, you're risking everything, I'll just do it anyway if I feel like it. That's one way that I could say that I myself am stubborn. What's a brief summary of your outlook in life? If you're not winning, you're not living. If you're not taking big risks, you're not living. Take the risk, try new things, do something no one has ever done before, because this is the only way for you to be able to move forward in life. What are you most likely to be arrested for, even if you didn't do anything illegal? What crime do you think you're most likely to commit? Speeding. Speeding and driving very fast cars, because like ever since I was a kid, I always drive above the speed limit if there is no radar. I've been breaking a few speeding rules here and there. And rest assured, one day I'm gonna get caught for what I'm doing. But right now, I'm still in front of the camera, so I'm more than happy with that. Think of your biggest regret. If you could go back in time and make a decision to keep it from happening, would you? No, no. Everything that happens in my life happened for a reason and might have taken me a few years, but if I let people go out of my life and just ask them to leave, I'm more than happy. I do not regret anything that I have ever done in my life so far. If you could be any animal, what would you be and why? Okay, this is gonna be a little bit imaginary, but if I were to be an animal, I'd probably be a phoenix. And here's the thing. The phoenix is a bird which is known for being able to rise from the ashes and coming back to life no matter how many times you try to knock it down, no matter what you do. If it wants to come back to life and relive life all over again, it will do it. And that's exactly what I like. The thing about me is that like no matter how hard you try, you just can't bring me down. I'm not going to give you a chance to be able to bring me down. Whatever it takes, if I want something, I will achieve it, whether you like it or not. And I highly recommend that you have the same mindset because this is going to take you to a lot of places in life. What is the worst thing about the place you live? Right now, the worst thing is honestly the lockdown that's going on, the corona. But if we were to speak like realistically over time, there's not much really. Like I actually like the area that I live in. Like it doesn't feel cheap, doesn't feel wasted. It's not like an area that you wouldn't want to be around. I actually like it, but there is one thing that I genuinely dislike is just how people can treat you sometimes because I have dealt with racism from other races before and all of that, but just couldn't care enough to fight back and all that. However, this is the only complaint that I have. Other than that, I actually love exactly where I stay. What is the best thing about the place you live in? The best thing, honestly, is nearly everything. Like this is a tourist area. There's literally everything. There's swimming pools, infinity pools, gyms, big malls. Basically everything that a person would want out of a trip, it exists here. This just makes it one of the best areas that I have ever stayed in my life. Does anybody beside yourself know your deepest secret? Do you ever intend to tell anyone? Right now, my deepest secret, absolutely no one except my mother knows the worst of the worst about me. My friends genuinely have no idea about what's going on in my life, and I have no plans to tell them. The only other person I would ever tell my deepest secrets to, if they ask, is probably going to be my girlfriend or spouse if I ever get one in the future. What is one small change you made in your life that had a much bigger impact that you had than you had anticipated? Uh, Traveling to Malaysia, living on your own, staying here for 5 years. This has changed my life forever. But that was the big changes. The small changes, honestly, was hitting the gym 3 years ago. I went in with no expectations. I became persistent and patient, and I have built a lot of strength. Only problem is that because of the multiple lockdowns that are constantly happening here, I've lost a lot of muscle mass because this is currently just out of my control. What historical event would you most like to have experienced? I'm not a big fan of history. I don't read much about it, but if there is a historical event that I would like to experience, it's probably just living in the times of the Prophet Muhammad. Um, yeah, I would love to see like what exactly was going on back then because there's a lot of stories about this. It's just super interesting to me. Do you believe in fate, the idea that whatever is meant to happen will happen, or do you believe more in a universe governed mainly by chaos and the unknown? I completely believe in fate because I have dealt with my fate before. I may not remember it that much, but I do remember a few incidents. And if anything is meant for me, it will find me, even if I'm like thousands or millions of miles away. If it is meant for you, it will find you no matter what you try to do. If it was never meant for you, no matter how hard you try, it's just not gonna be for you. It's as easy as that. Where were we? Yeah, okay. What unpleasant experience are you most proud of yourself for making it through? Okay, that's a super easy one. An unpleasant experience that I'm always proud of, it's always learning a brand new unit or something new in engineering. It gets incredibly hard for a very long time. You just feel like giving up, and when you come to the end and finish the exam, you're just gonna be like, okay, now what? I have no plan for my future. And then when you pass, you just realize that all of this is worth it, and you just keep pushing forward. This is one of the most pleasant experiences for me. In a Freaky Friday situation where you woke up in someone else's body, who would you like to be for a day and have them inhabit your body? Okay, honestly, I would never prefer to exchange my body for anyone else. I am more than happy with who I am, what I have accomplished so far, and I have absolutely no intentions to be anyone else. But if we were to get a little bit imaginary, I would probably decide to get a little bit into one of the Formula One drivers, bodies, maybe Lewis Hamilton, Daniel Ricciardo, Max Verstappen. I just want to see what they experience when they're driving these cars at incredibly high speed. That would be a really fun experience. What's a quirk of yours that few people know about? A quirk of mine? Okay. Hmm. Probably a psychopath who would do something just for the sheer fun of it and he just doesn't care about the consequences. But that's like something that I rarely do, and I highly doubt that any of my friends know anything about me, such as that. But you might want to ask my friends about that. I cannot answer this question because I don't even know myself that well enough. What's the craziest thing you've ever done? uh, spend all of my life savings on a drone and literally crash it 5 minutes into the first flight and never being able to recover it again, and then having to go through another series of life savings. Let's just say that I don't want to talk about this. That's just as crazy as things get right now. Are you currently holding a grudge against anyone or anything? No, not at all. Here's the thing, like even if I hold a grudge, anyone just forgive and forget. I genuinely don't care about most of what happens in this world. As long as you're not standing in my way, you're not gonna hurt. And if anything has ever happened in the past between us, I don't give a damn anymore about it. What small thing annoys you to an irrational degree? Someone who's playing stupid. When we are getting serious and I'm trying to convince another person to do something, maybe that person has something that's super important to me and I have to convince them and they just get ignorant or arrogant or they just play stupid. This triggers me like crazy. So do me a favor, if you know me in person, don't fuck around with me that way because the results are not gonna be good. Apologies for the language. Have you gone through any phases in your life? What is the most notable one? Yeah, the most notable phase in my life has happened from when I was 7 years old until the age of 18. I was highly addicted to a very special online game called RuneScape. And this addiction has cost me so much in my life, from grades to family to friends to social life. It took a very big toll and it was a nightmare to get out of. But let's just not talk about this for now. Yeah, it's a super interesting story. Maybe if you see me in person, you can ask me about it. What historical figure do you most admire and why? Historical figure? Not much I could think of right now. I mean, if we are talking about present, not history, I would say that the most admirable person to me is Christian von Koenigsegg, because I know that 99% of my viewers have never heard of a car brand called Koenigsegg, but if you search them up, these guys make the most agile, the world's fastest cars. They're just super interesting to understand with time. You really might want to do some research about them. Um, all right, question 120. Was there ever a moment when you thought you were going to die? Yeah, there was a time where I just got a little bit aggressive eating and I ate a really big piece of chicken. I was like, the chicken was actually hung up here for some time for, I don't know, like 30 or 45 seconds. I was literally almost dead within that. I don't think it was 30 or 45. I think it was shorter than that, but I almost died in this occasion specifically. What was the best opportunity you have ever received? The opportunity so far, the best one was actually making it into the university that I am currently studying. This one took so much energy and effort, and I'm just happy that I'm making it this far. And in case if you don't know, I'm currently supposed to graduate, but because of some difficulties, now I'm getting into my fifth year of engineering. Ah, okay. What always makes you nostalgic? To be honest, I don't even know what nostalgic means, so I'll just skip this question for now. But if you really want a direct answer, let me know in the comments below. What would you like to accomplish before this year is over? If we can just hit 1,000 subscribers this year, at least 1,000, this is all I'm asking for by the end of this year. And currently, as I speak, we only have 55 subscribers. If we can hit 1,000, you guys will make my day and you will make my world a whole lot happier. And hopefully, I can promise you to make much better content. Please, guys, hit the like, let more people see this, and hit the subscribe and turn on notifications. It would really mean a lot to me. All right, we're almost done. Have you ever been offered a good opportunity but refused it? What was the situation? No, not really. I've never been offered a good opportunity and refused it. I mean, I'm not going to be the psychological manipulator and say that I rejected it for this and that. I'll just be straight up honest. I did not get any good opportunities that I could remember right now and rejected them. Well, okay, if I'm being specific, I think the one good opportunity that I have gotten in the past was actually within a really good university back in my home country. And I just refused that because I knew that I was meant for something much greater. And back then, I always wanted to prove myself, hey, Baha, you're the best of the best. No one's going to be ever like you. And you have to make this to prove it to yourself, which is basically getting to the current university that I'm in. That's exactly what I did back then. So yeah, the situation was that I have rejected some really good universities for one of the best universities worldwide. Okay, last question for this video. Would you prefer your family to be smaller or larger than it is now, or neither? Do you wish you were more involved with your extended family? My whole family right now is literally my mother and her youngest sister. Like, my parents got divorced when I was just 3 years old, but I genuinely don't care about that much right now. And I would say that if I genuinely had, I'm being honest right now, I don't think that I would have wanted any sort of different family, like one mother and her youngest sister and one son. I think this family is perfectly fine. And that's all just for the short video. Thank you so much for watching, folks. If you liked it, please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notifications. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. They will be linked down in the description below. And without further ado, I'll see you tomorrow in part 6. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you the next time. Peace.